Welcome to Pages and Pots. In this episode, we'll explore God's relationship to reality in light of the teachings of mystical Judaism, particularly the Kabbalistic interpretations presented in Rabbi Shneur Zalman's Tanya, also known as Likutei Amarim, meaning a collection of statements. In the words of the Orthodox Jewish Chabad website, the Tanya's goal is to explain how it is within the reach of every person to serve God in thought, speech, and action, that is, heart, mouth, and to do it. It is the fundamental classic work upon which all concepts of Chabad Hasidism are based. If you have studied mystical Judaism in the past, you may have encountered it through the interpretations of the Reform movement. The Tanya presents the essential mystical experience as it was preserved, presumably dating back to the time of Moses. There are two parts to the Tanya. The first part focuses on self-improvement through spiritual development. The second part emphasizes the nature of God and reality. In this episode, we will focus on the second part. Fortunately for us, we can use Rabbi Chaim Miller's book, The Practical Tanya, as an excellent introduction to the basic principles of reality. He provides a layered, step-by-step understanding of the essential terms and concepts of the Tanya, including excerpts from both the Tanya and the Zohar to guide our understanding. Let's begin with the most fundamental question. How does God interact with the world? God is said to be all things, or stated differently, all reality emanates from God. This is known as panentheism. This differs from pantheism, which holds that God is in all things or that all things are God. This idea is typically associated with Greek philosophy and animist traditions, which see divinity in all aspects of nature. In contrast, Judaism generally regards such views as a form of idolatry. Here is an example of how to understand panentheism. Imagine going to a movie theater. The image you see on the screen is a projection of light through film. The image is light, just as mystical Judaism imagines God. The picture appears real only so long as the light is projected through the film. Similarly, reality exists because God is constantly projecting or emanating it. In fact, we are being emanated from God. What's different is that God gives us a tiny spark of himself, our unique individuality. However, it doesn't belong to us. It's part of God, and it will eventually return to him. Rabbi Shneur Zalman uses a well-known example of comparing us to a ray of light and God as the globe of the sun. Light rays, which have emerged from the glow of the sun, are visible to everyone, shining on Earth and in the atmosphere. Now, obviously, these light rays are also found inside the physical globe of the sun itself. They can spread out and shine on the Earth and shine locally within the sun. However, inside the sun, a single light ray is considered completely null and void because the light ray is merely an effect of the sun, nothing other than light emanating from the sun itself, which is its source. In the Earth's atmosphere and under the skies, where the sun's globe is not physically present, a ray of light appears to us as a separate entity, and it can appropriately be called a real entity. But this is not the case within the sun's globe, where it cannot be called a distinct entity. Within its source, it's null and void. For the source, the sun's globe, is perceptible. My understanding of Rabbi Shneur Zalman's example is that we are all sparks, tiny rays of the entirety of God. In the heavenly realms, we lose our identity. We are just one ray within the fullness of God. But on earth, below Malkut, we can be seen as individuals. This is God's design. We know this because if God had not manifested reality, only God would exist. But God did something extraordinary to bring about creation. He withdrew a portion of himself to make space for the universe. Because God is everything and is constantly creating the universe and all reality, he must conceal himself from humanity for us to have an independent existence. This is called tzimtzum. It is a mystical process by which God voluntarily contracts or withdraws his infinite light to create a conceptual empty space in which a finite, independent world can exist. This contraction was necessary to allow for creation without overwhelming it with divine infinity. This space is not a physical location, but a metaphysical void, a paradoxical realm where God is both hidden and immanently present. In the next episode, we will explore how God resolves the paradox of being absent from the tzimtzum while at the same time constantly creating it. Until then, consider how God can hide himself from his own creation. Thanks for listening to this podcast. As always, click like, and if you've not done it yet, subscribe. It helps me keep on going.